Well, it's rainy season here in Colorado, so the forecast is calling for rain for the next 14 days straight. And it's not going to rain like straight through on 14 days, but each day we'll have rain. And it's looking like it's going to be in the evening time. So I actually like it when it rains. It cools things off in the afternoon and evening. Yeah, because this time of year it can get kind of hot up here. And I mean, hot is relative. 75 at 10,000 feet with no wind. The sun is just super intense. So the UV rays get you up here. It's not the temperature, but the UV rays. So anyway, but today I want to talk about this video just real quick before we go into it. I know this is a controversial subject. I had an experience 3 years ago near Hancock Pass in central Colorado with an animal that I don't know what it was. And I'm assuming that it was like a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch. And the reason I say that is just because of the profile of the animal and then some of the things I've learned since that some other people have had experiences that are, you know, similar to what I had. So like I said, I don't this is kind of a deviation from my channel. You know, I'm usually just showing fishing videos and truck camping videos and Sierra videos and stuff like that. But I wanted to do a follow-up to the video that I did last year and when I first talked about this. So that link will be in the video description below. And then this video, it's going to start out, I got some really great underwater footage of one of my favorite rivers that I like to fly fish on, and it was a pocket of fish. So I want to show you that real quick, because I'm real proud of getting that. I'll go back there again and get some more footage, and I'll go along that whole river and get footage. So I love putting that GoPro underwater. And then we're going to check out some rail cars from the mining era, which is pretty awesome. And then after that, we'll dive into the information. So what I do in this video is I revisit that site. I go back to where it was, and I walk up to the location of where I had the encounter, and I explain what happened and how the animal was moving, which made me realize that it wasn't a bear or a moose. And so let's go ahead and get started. Thanks. All right, so before we dive into this video, I wanted to show you these really old box cars, these train cars that are from the mining era, and they're still preserved. This one over here obviously is in better shape because it's underneath this new structure they built in order to preserve it. But it's amazing to see, you know, like you've got these huge bolts and stuff like that are still in the wood, and then looks like some sort of tapestry that went over the top of it. It was attached to the side, and then you still got the paint. I mean, you know, like right here, obviously it's the red paint from it, and in the interior, I noticed that they just put in some beams so that it can stay upright. But you know, we look inside here, and it's so cool to see the ceiling. Now look at that. And the interior walls, obviously missing like the insulation and all that stuff. But I wonder if that was a window. It looks like it was kind of like a frame, that one right there. And then same with over here, and they're both on the same side, so that may have been a frame. But it's really cool to see like these old nails I just love history so much, so stuff like this is just, to me, it's really cool to check this out. And so we're going to go on the other side here. It looks like there is some writing. I don't know what happened there. I guess the GoPro just wanted to turn off. Well, this is kind of cool. You can see the top of the train car here. And I don't know what this is. I need to look up the history on this, so I'll include some links in the notes below once we get going here. But so CNS, the rail car number is 7611. So, oh, that's where the stove was. They had a wood stove sitting probably right here, and there was the stovepipe, or the stove jack. Keep the car warm in the wintertime because it was definitely frigid up here. So anyway, this is cool stuff. I love seeing stuff like this. I could spend all day looking at mining ruins and reading about mining ruins, and you know, the different stuff that went on during those during that era. I just think it's so amazing. These people really were out here in some hardship, and they made it work. And it's kind of cool to see these relics of the, you know, of yesteryear that are left behind from their efforts. It's definitely cool to check out. And right next to the tracks here is a big area to where you can load a bunch of ore in. So it makes sense that the train tracks were right here, and then you have this deal here with the chute, and you could load stuff into the train. So I'm pretty sure these were passenger cars, but it makes sense that there would be, you know, just like the big ore shipping carts on here on the train. So definitely cool to check this stuff out. I love it. Okay, so this is the campsite where I was at, where I had that sighting. It was about, I think it was 3 years ago when I was here. And what happened was we were actually parked in this exact location right here. And I don't think I had the slide no, actually I think I just got the slide extension installed at that point. So I think that I had that. So anyway, the slide extension is right here. And what happened that morning was we woke up, it was pretty cold out. I believe it was in the fall, if I remember correctly. And got up around 7:30, got out of the truck, and I got out first and Sierra got out after me. But when I got out, I noticed immediately that there were no bird sounds. And in the morning around here, that's pretty just strange, because, you know, the birds, as soon as the sun starts coming up, like around 4:30, like you start to see a little bit of light coming over like the horizon, the birds start up. And none of that happened that morning, so I thought that was kind of strange. And the thing that really set me off is when Sierra jumped out of the truck, she immediately, like the hair on the back of her, on her back, just all of it stood up, and she was like looking uphill, looking up this way, and was like really freaked out. And so I grabbed my .22 rifle, and I was kind of, you know, this was like, okay, well, you know, so things seem a little off here. What's going on? And right about that time when I grabbed that, coming down through this area right here, coming down through these trees right here were big rocks, like bowling ball sized rocks, and they were hurling down and like crashing through the trees, and I'd hear them, and then they'd thump like right about in this area here, and they rolled down that way. And about 4 of them came down, and I initially thought that somebody was up there and they were screwing with me, because I just, you know, I didn't think anything. I didn't get that unsettling feeling. I kind of thought it was human related. But then I realized, like, after being here for a little bit, and, you know, Sierra acting all funny, that things were off. And so I grabbed Sierra and I put her in the back of the truck and I locked it. And I grabbed my rifle and I came up this way. So I want to walk up the hill and kind of show you where I saw this animal and where it was going. So I'm gonna grab Sierra and we're gonna head on up there. You wanna go on a walk with me? Oh boy, let's go. All right, so when I came up the hill here, I kept on hearing up in this area back up in here. I kept on hearing the sound of like something going up the hill, and so I just followed it because I thought, well, you know, if it's humans or something like that, I'll run into them and see what's up. Or maybe, you know, I wasn't really thinking outside the box of what this was. And so came up to this area right here, and it starts to go up the incline in this area, and I kept on hearing noises up in the trees, like uphill. And so come on, Sierra, where you at, girl? Come on, let's go this way, babe, come on. And so let's walk up there, and then I'll show you where the animal was at, because there's a pretty distinct area where I saw it. So we'll go up here, and it's a little ways up. Like I followed the animal up here a ways because I wanted to see what it was. And like I said, I had my rifle with me, so I thought, well, you know, if it's a person, I'll be in good shape. And if it's you know, a poltergeist, then I'm screwed. But I wasn't really that scared coming up here. Things were off, but it wasn't, I don't know, it wasn't like a threatening off. And so it's kind of hard to explain, but we're just about here. Okay, this is it right here where I came up, and I actually came up around this side right here. And when I was down, I'm gonna put the tripod down. When I was down here, when I came up right around this rock that's right there, I came up this way, I heard something behind this tree, and I saw a figure, but I couldn't really make out what it was because I didn't know what was behind this. And it was, you know, in the fall, so I mean, all these pines, you know, those stay on year round, so there was tree cover, and I couldn't see clearly through there as to what it was. But I saw there was something up here, and I saw it move, and so I thought, oh, they're right, you know, they're right here. So I ran up here as quickly as I could, and here's this little trail area. I don't know if you can really see it, but there's like a little bit of an old trail that meanders down through here, and then it kicks over. Let's see, does it kick over to the left there? Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not on it right now. It's right here. Yeah. And then it goes down this way, and then it loops around over there. Well, by the time I got up here to this part, which was like, I don't know, 5 seconds if even, I got up to here, which is, I'd have to say 40 feet that I covered, 30 feet that I covered. So I got up here, and that animal was already way downhill, and I was seeing it, I was kind of seeing flashes of it going through the trees. And the thing is there's a bunch of down trees around here, and that animal was cruising through it like it was nothing. And I've never seen anything like that in my life. And so I kind of stood here for a little while, and I was just like, I had the feeling that there was something else around me, but I never ended up seeing anything else. But I stood here, and I was like, what did I just see? You know, what is this? Like, it's not a bear, it's not a moose. It's on 2 legs, it's huge, it's covered in hair, and it's running that way. I'm like, well, it's freaking Sasquatch. And so, I mean, it was crazy. I actually, after that, I went in town and I rented a house for a month, and I stayed in town because I didn't want to come back out here. I was scared. Hey, come on, Sierra, over here. Sierra, this way, girl. We're not going on the trail. Come on. Hey, come back here. Good girl. And so I stayed out of the backcountry for a month, and I started venturing back here. But when I would come back, you know, and start to get back camping again after that experience, I actually would only go to areas that had a bunch of people, because then I'd just be like, all right, I'm safe. Like, strength in numbers, maybe a little, you know, if Mr. Sasquatch comes back, it's going to get one of those people and not me. So, but, you know, it definitely is one of those things that when it happens to you, you don't feel lucky. You actually kind of feel like, you're like, dang it, man, I don't want to see something like that. Like, I want to have it to be back here to where everything's according to the order that we think that we know of when it comes to nature. But, you know, there's just stuff out there sometimes that tough to explain. So, but anyway, this was the area where it happened. Like I said, you know, this little section down here of this trail, when I came down, and I came down from the tree and was right there, I ran down here and was looking downhill into these really thick trees. There was a dark shadow, a dark figure that was really tall that was just cruising through there with zero effort. And I was just like, that thing is freaking superhuman. So anyway, this was the area where it took place, and It's the first time I've been back here, and I don't have a creepy feeling like I had last time, and I'm hearing bird noises, so we're in good shape. So anyway, all right, if you got questions, hit me up in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Ready to go back to the truck with me? All right, let's roll. You lead the way, girl. You know where we're going.